What I wanted to achieve where I'm using the industry instead of the industry using you. Uses models and uses people more than the other way around, and sometimes they benefit more from the model. I wanted to turn that around so I was in control basically, so I could tell you exactly where I would be, where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, the team I wanted to work with, what I wanted to achieve. And most models don't get to that. They get told where to go, told what to do, told what to wear, you know, what they should be doing, shouldn't be doing. You always hope that you have the opportunity to be part of something like Light Blue, but Light Blue really, you know, has got to be one of the last real sort of creative, iconic images, creative, iconic stories left in the fashion industry. They don't exist anymore. You know, that sort of, people got to remember from 2006 that, you know, that it was a brand new fragrance, that no one knew me. There was no social media, there was no any of that. And to create something where a story comes out or a picture comes out and then 11 million people go to sort of search on the next day without it being, you know, sort of put on Instagram and posted and everything is quite an achievement. So yes, you hope you're going to be part of something like this, of course, but you never think it's going to last 9 years at the end of the day. I've never thought, no one ever sees me as English. Everyone always sees me as, thinks I'm Italian or Latin, you know, sort of American or something like that. No, I mean, I still remember the Light Blue fragrance because I smelt it when, you know, it was that day that I shot Light Blue. So the emotions that are involved are something different to me, that I actually lived doing that. You know, that was actually sort of what I remember from that day, and that's what we tried to evoke with a romantic story, the campaign, the fragrance of that, you know, Mediterranean love story, summer freshness, that vibrancy. But I was actually, you know, doing the campaign, so when I smell that fragrance, that's where it takes me back to that day 9 years ago. There's not a routine, there's not a ritual, there's not a pattern. It's different from every hour of every day of every month of every year. It just constantly changes. That's what I love about it. That's why, you know, I don't get bored what I'm doing, because it's constantly changing. The industry has changed significantly now, so that's one that I don't even particularly understand. You know, it's all about social media. I'm not envious of guys and girls coming into the industry now, because it's a whole different ballgame. You're not merited on the way you look. You're not merited on the way you can model, which is an art in some ways. It's merited on how many social media followers you have or something like that. And that's you're never going to create anything like we have done with Light Blue. So like iconic images we know from the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s. That era is really gone now, to be honest, because people being used is all about their social numbers. I'm glad I got in when I did, really. No one particularly really knows about my private life, and I keep that very different, you know, very separate to you know, my business side. The truth is, it's still about the person I am. It's you know, there's no lies. There's integrity. I see so many people living a fake life nowadays that they sort of pretend to be. They pretend to be a person that they're actually not. They pretend to live a life they actually don't. And that's not really me. You see what you get when I talk about suits on Savile Row. I have 80 suits from Savile Row. That's my love, that's my passion, that's something I believe in. Supporting Britishness and British, you know, sort of fashions. When I talk about sort of loyalty and brands, you know, me and Dolce Gabbana have been working together for you know, 9 years on Light Blue, probably more and more together. We've been working for like 12 years. And then, you know, I sort of talk about passions and things I'm passionate about, charities, racing cars, again, my Britishness, helping smaller brands, helping smaller British brands. I take inspirations from history and Hollywood and try to sort of hopefully bring that gentlemanly kind of integrity to the modern day. Hopefully people can see there's integrity behind it. I have my principles and I stick to them. So that's it, there's no bullshit.